2 days ago, I made a big mistake. I'm Hannah Michelati. I'm a public speaking and presentation coach in Portland, Oregon, and I work with high-achieving creative and corporate professionals like you to give presentations with confidence, clarity, and charisma. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Like I said, 2 days ago, I made a big mistake. I scheduled my workout with less than 1 hour later, a haircut to follow it. Now, while this might not seem like a very big deal, to me, it was a very big moral decision. Did I risk running late to my hair appointment because I was gonna go home, shower, and then drive all the way out to my hair appointment? Or did I just forego the shower and go straight to my hair appointment? Was that okay to do? Is that totally disgusting? Is that something that's okay? It was this moral conundrum that I had to work through. In today's video, I will be using this story that I just told you about my moral haircut conundrum to illustrate how you can use personal stories from your life in your work presentations. There are 3 components to consider. Number 1, how to pick the right story or the right example or the right angle or the right component of your story. Not every single piece to every story that you have needs to be told. Number 2, considering your story from the lens of your audience, which is the most important lens. And finally, number 3, connecting your story, your personal story in your presentation to work, because you definitely want to have a connection with your story to your work environment. Let's get started on number 1, how to pick the right story. This story is absolutely the right pick for me, and I would definitely tell it in a work presentation because it's fairly innocuous and it also presents a moral dilemma. Now, there are components of the story that I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you how I was standing outside of my trainer's house with my sister-in-law, who I work out with every week, looking at the both of them saying, should I go home? Should I risk driving all the way home and then definitely being late to my haircut, which then throws my hairdresser off, but make sure that I am clean so that I'm not sitting gross in her chair? Or should I just go to the appointment and not shower? To which both my trainer and my sister-in-law looked at me like, that's disgusting. You absolutely have to shower. So I went to my sister-in-law's house, used her shower in the middle of the morning, and she gave me all of her clothes that would possibly fit my body, including a very attractive golden bond crew neck sweatshirt with a big fat golden retriever on the front of it. That wasn't a part of the story to tell because it doesn't necessarily enhance the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I was trying to make was that I was faced with a moral dilemma. Do you show up to a service industry person's salon disgusting? I had sweat a lot that morning. Was that an okay thing to do? And it was not an okay thing to do. The first thing in my brain was, do not do it, Hannah. And I had 2 other people telling me not to do it either. Next, let's take a look at viewing it from the lens of your audience. I actually posted this story to my Instagram the day that it happened. And I wanted to ask everyone on Instagram that follows me, would you shower before a haircut or would you not shower before a haircut? To my horror, more people voted that they would not shower before their haircut than those that would shower before a haircut. It proved my point. This poll that I did on Instagram, it got more contributions than any other poll that I'd asked for. And that right there, that piece is exactly what matters to you. My audience cared more about voting on that poll because that is a choice that they have thought about, they have had to make themselves, or they can put themselves in the shoes of making. Your stories have to connect with your audience. They have to be important to your audience. They have to be something that your audience has experienced or could see themselves experiencing. It's often why when we tell stories about where we've traveled to on vacation, especially if they're farther afield and they're on a different continent or they're remote and not a lot of people do them, that the listeners tune out because they don't see themselves in that story. They're not going on safaris in Africa. They're not climbing Mount Everest. They're not camping in the backwoods of Alaska. Your stories matter to your audience when your audience feels like they are a part of them. This story about getting my haircut, I know everybody gets their haircut. You have had your haircut at least once in your life. So you can easily make that leap to considering, if I just worked out before I was supposed to get my haircut, would I shower or would I not shower? It's an easy connection to make. And third, Finding how to connect your story to components at work. This is probably the most challenging for most people. Here are the multiple connections that my story has to work. Problem solving, getting creative, finding a solution through creative means, teamwork, accepting assistance, asking for help, customer service, and even honesty and integrity. I could go the values route. There are multiple ways that this story can be superimposed over something at work. I'll break down one of them, getting creative. So I didn't feel like I had an option. I just worked out. I wouldn't be able to get home in time and get to my hair appointment on time. And my sister-in-law said, you can come shower at my house because my house is only 10 minutes away and it's far closer to your hair appointment. That's getting creative. That's finding a solution that you hadn't otherwise considered. If I were to look at this from a values standpoint and how this illustrates that I have integrity or I have honesty or I have compassion for others, I'm not going to put my sweaty body in a hairstylist's chair in her salon and stink it up and get that leather all gross just because I didn't plan my day and my time well. She does not need to suffer the consequences of my poorly timed choices. While I might have made a big mistake 2 days ago in booking my workout far too close to my haircut, it served as an excellent story and it doubles up as something I could possibly use in a presentation. To give you a quick recap, when you are considering this for yourself, you need to pick the right story. You need to make sure you pick the right angle of the story and you pick the right components of the story. Not every single piece of your trip to the grocery store or going to get gas or walking the dog is important or crucial to telling your story. Number 2, you need to consider it from your audience's perspective. What about it matters to them? What about it connects with them? If you were to put this up in your stories and you were going to get people to vote on whether or not they took the action you took or not, would people be interested? And finally, number 3, find the connection to work. This is probably the most important part because you don't want to tell a story that has absolutely zero tether to your work environment or the presentation that you're giving. If you have questions about stories, presentations, or public speaking, be sure to drop them in the comments below. That's all I have for you today, and I will catch you all next time.